Click the subscribe button and the notification bell next to it to get notifications whenever I go live. Hey, what's up, family? It's your man, Mark Black. Happy Saturday to all my motherfuckers out there getting it in. I know a lot of you folks back east is shoveling snow like a motherfucker, right? And I hear you. So I just want to say be safe out there. Take your time. Make sure you rest. Don't do no fuck shit because you can end up in a really, really bad place, right? Heart attacks is an issue when you're shoveling snow, and even if you're in shape. So make sure you take plenty of rest. Make sure that you take care of yourself and you be safe, all right? So today is Sucka-Free Saturday. right? This is the first of what I hope is many Sucka-Free Saturdays. Essentially, what I'm doing today is I'm just going to ramble. I'm going to talk. I'm going to speak on various topics, but it's not just going to be me. It's going to be you too. Pop whatever you want to say in the chat, and we're going to speak on it. It don't matter what the topic is, whether it's political, economic, entertainment, Mark, go fuck yourself. Whatever the topic is, the floor is yours, all right? Sucka-Free Saturday. So to get us started, before I came into the broadcast, I was watching the address by Imperator Trump the First, right? The Tangerine King. And he was discussing something that I think is interesting, warrants some topics, some discussion, some airtime. He mentioned a proposal that he's trying to get passed through Congress called the Bridge Act, all right? And the Bridge Act stands for, give me a second, I got it up here. The Bridge Act stands for Bar Removal of Individuals Who Dream and Grow Our Economy Act. Got to give these motherfuckers good names, props for coming up with these good names for these different acts and shit, right? And it basically refers to the offering of temporary relief from deportation and also the availment of employment authorization for individuals who are eligible for the Department of Homeland Security's DACA program, right? Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. Now, essentially what DACA does is it provides protections from deportation and work authorization to students and veterans if they grew up in the United States, right? So if they were brought here as children by illegals, right? If they register with the government, pay some money, and pass a background check, they're eligible for protection and work authorization under DACA, right? The Bridge Act is actually going to provide what it's calling a provisional protected presence and employment authorization to anybody who's eligible for DACA, right? So this only applies to they say it's an estimated 752,000 young people, right, who are eligible under DACA. This continues to cover those individuals, right? Currently, a DACA recipient receives provisional protected presence until the expiration date of their DACA status, and then they could apply for for continued provisional protected presence prior to that expiration, right? So under the Bridge Act, they would have to pay a fee just like DACA, undergo criminal background checks just like under DACA, and some other eligibility criteria that I haven't really had a chance to go into. Like, they have to have came into the United States as minors, grew up in America, pursued an education, have not committed any serious crimes, and more importantly, do not pose a threat to the country, right? So, if they think your ass might be ISIS in waiting, they're not going to want to give you that shit, right? So there's that. The Bridge Act. So I had an issue with DACA itself, right? Because here's the thing that fucks me up, right? Again, it's surprising to me how we're asked to extend so much to people who really have not contributed anything, right? Now, I know what you're saying, DACA, right? Well, these kids were brought here against their will, facts, right? They were brought here as minors. They had no control over where their parents bring them, right? So that's facts. And they've come here, they speak the language, they've gone to school here, right? They have tried to establish a life here in America. All facts. However, they've taken advantage of being in America, right? They've gotten our access to our educational system, right? They've, had access to various benefits and things like that that are available for Americans, but they haven't contributed shit as of yet. These DACA recipients, and again, I'm not hating on children. I'm not heartless. I don't see wanting to make any children suffer at all. But let's face facts. These DACA recipients are getting access to all of the benefits of being here, being in protected status, if not citizens, right? But haven't had to contribute a goddamn thing as of yet. to this country. There is literally nothing stopping DACA recipients from taking advantage of an American education, learning English fluently, so on and so forth, and then taking their ass back to where they come from and using that to springboard themselves into a much better life, maybe under better circumstances than they could here in the United States. So I had an issue with DACA to begin with. It doesn't really address the problem that we having with motherfuckers coming here and having children as anchor babies, right? Because you might have some kids who were brought here as minors, right? That would qualify under DACA. But their parents are staying here, and all it takes for them to be able to stay here too and basically ultimately get citizenship is for this motherfucker to spit out one kid. So the birthright citizenship that was granted in the Constitution under the 14th Amendment to remediate our status as the descendants of slaves, right, is being used by everybody and their mother to get access to benefits and citizenship that's not theirs. We as black folks should have a problem with this, right? We should have a problem with this. But primarily at this point, we should have a problem with this as a nation, because think about the undercutting of the economy that these people are here to allow, to enable. It's not them directly that is responsible for it, but it is them that is enabling it. Let me explain. All right. My first job, my first official job, when I was 15 years old, was working at a McDonald's, okay? I made $3.80 an hour because the minimum wage back then was, I think, $3.50, something like that, $3.45, $3.25. No, it was $3.25 an hour. That was the minimum wage back when I got my first job, all right? But I made a little bit more than minimum wage. I made $3.80 an hour, all right? Flipping burgers and Mickey D's. Okay. Now, I lived in a city, right? I'm from Kansas City. So I lived in a city. But let's say that I had been a rural kid, right? I lived out in the sticks. Out in the sticks, my first job might have been helping bring in harvests, right? That's not uncommon for a lot of us. A lot of black people act like we too motherfucking good to be involved in agriculture. But agriculture is what built this country. Right? And black folks under chattel slavery and even as sharecroppers and shit like that under Jim Crow and all of that were still heavily involved in agriculture. Right? So it would not have been surprising if I, as a young rural black brother, might have had my first job picking fruit, helping to harvest soybeans or some shit like that, right? Even picking cotton. I had family members who lived in the South who picked cotton right alongside they older folk. CRU, welcome to the broadcast, brothers. Salute. And I'm glad to have you here. I know you're still in it, but you know what I'm saying? Whenever you feel like coming over here to participate, it's an open forum. We're going to talk about whatever the motherfucker you want to talk about, brothers. So you are definitely welcome. All right? So, it would not have been a stretch to suggest that I might have sought out employment in picking fruit, picking vegetables, picking cotton, and other agricultural labor work. Now, mind you, that the minimum wage at that time was $3.25 an hour. All right? So if I had gotten a job picking crops, right? Whether it was lettuce or oranges or whatever, right? They would have had to pay me at a minimum $3.25 an hour. Cool. Y'all with me so far? Now, fast forward with the influx of all these illegals that come into the country. So now, even if I want a job, right? Because a lot of motherfuckers are saying, well, we can't get crops harvested if we don't have the illegals. I call bullshit. I call bullshit. Because to a nigga that ain't got a job, even picking motherfucking fruit and cotton is something to bring in the motherfucking bacon. Right? It's something to bring in some resources to your family. Hell, there was times when I was an adult that I've been unemployed, homeless. Wouldn't it have been nice to go and know that I make at least minimum wage by picking up some crops, by climbing up and picking oranges? But see, now that they have the illegals, they don't have to pay them a minimum wage. What the fuck they gonna do? Complain? Who they gonna complain to? OSHA? Who they gonna complain to? The EOC? You're not a citizen. Nobody gives a fuck about you, right? So who you gonna complain to? So they can charge, they can say, all right, we'll pay you, but you gotta go out here and pick by the bag. And I don't know if any of you have seen these bags that a lot of these agricultural workers have to carry on their backs to pick like oranges and shit like that. But these bags are huge. They don't get paid an hourly wage like they would have to pay you or me to pick vegetables, to pick fruits, to pick cotton and all that other shit. No, they pay them by the bag or they pay them by the pound. So when we walk into our grocery stores broke, we at least have the hope that we can get orange juice at a reasonable price, because the price might go up a little bit if you paying Americans to pick oranges than it would if you pay these illegal motherfuckers to pick oranges. Because don't forget, family, for all the fuckery and hullabaloo that you hearing from the so-called Republican side of the house about illegal immigration, they've tried before to curtail illegal immigration. In the state of Alabama, they passed some real strict laws trying to crack down on illegals. They was catching motherfuckers up and deporting them like crazy. And then there was a big hue and cry. A big hue and cry. Motherfuckers was actually going to the government saying, you can't do this. You can't be arresting and deporting these people. But strangely enough, though, it wasn't the motherfucking liberals. It wasn't those bleeding heart liberals that you thought would be issuing a hue and cry over the mass sweep up and deportation of illegal immigrants, or illegals, because they're not immigrants. Immigrants are people that come into the country legally, right? So these illegals, it was the motherfucking growers. It was the agriculturalists in Alabama that was going to the government saying, stop enforcing this shit. We got crops that are rotting in the fields because we can't get anybody to pick them. Now, that was bullshit, of course. That was bullshit. They could have got people to come out there and harvest those crops. They just would not have been able to exploit them as an easily exploitable labor source like they can the illegals. See, no. If you have Americans out there harvesting crops, you got to treat Americans as what they are. Citizens, black, white, or indifferent. And they ain't going to have that. Because they've already got built into their profit loss statements and they profit projections and shit how much money they gonna make based off of how much money they spend to bring in the crops. And they've already got it baked in that at this price, they can make X amount of dollars because they're using illegal labor. And that's just one area in which illegals are coming out here and cutting Americans, citizens, black or white. Because remember, family, a lot of us get caught up in the fuckery. We see illegal immigrants, and as black folk, I see why, right? Because primarily, historically, we've been the ones most negatively affected by immigration, by illegal immigration, but immigration in general. Okay, so I'll say immigration in general, but illegal immigration specifically. We've been the ones primarily the most affected, even though we've been the ones that have been the least likely to say anything about the fact that we've been affected. All right? But these days, immigration is affecting everybody. If you in the tech sector, immigration, both legal and illegal, affects you. How? What the fuck do you think the H-1B program is? So here you spend anywhere from $8,000 to upwards of $50,000, $60,000 to get your education, whether through a boot camp, whether through a coding intensive, whether through a traditional educational CS degree setup, or whatever the case may be. You take out student loans, Pell Grants, all that shit to get your education. So now you are have a degreed coder and programmer. And you done invested not just in yourself, but in America. Because where do you think your student loan money's going? It's going to pay teachers. It's going to pay janitors. It's going to pay football coaches millions of dollars a year so that they can put your fellow students out there on the gridiron for free. I don't even talk about, or actually, fuck it. Since it's an open forum, I can talk about that later. Right? So your resources that you've invested not just in yourself, but in your institution, your alma mater, and indirectly into America itself, you would think that you'd have opportunities that nobody else would have. And thanks for playing. Because now you done graduated with your CS degree, your baccalaureate. You may be first generation ever to graduate from college, which is not unheard of, especially if you black folk. And you go out into the job market and find out that you competing with Indians and Pakistanis and Malaysians and shit here on H-1B visas that get the jobs that you should be getting. Why? Because they can pay them motherfuckers $30,000 a year who can then go back to India and live like motherfucking kings. Meanwhile, you who have to live in Fortress America, the most expensive nation on the goddamn planet, will be lucky if you get a job making 50. If you make 50, you would count yourself fortunate. Now, 50 might be enough for you to live off of if you practice budgeting judiciously, right? But it's not much more than the median wage, the average median wage. So you basically have spent anywhere from a few thousand to tens of thousands of dollars to get educated, to provide a benefit to your nation, to your people, so that you can luck out and hopefully make it in a middle-class life. Ain't that a bitch? Meanwhile, your H-1B counterparts who talk like this and who can barely speak English, and these motherfuckers smell like curry and got weird dresses and shit, they can come here, work a few years, go back where the fuck they from, and now, having worked here in America, they got chops back in India that they didn't have before. They go right to the top of the motherfucking food chain over there. Miss Denny said that as a child of immigrants, I normally don't have an opinion on immigration, illegal or no. If it weren't for immigration, I wouldn't be here. But also, now that I identify as black, I can see both sides. It's not good no matter what I identify as. My mother told me she knew that I could take advantage of affirmative action, something that was supposed to be for black people, yet she feels like, and she's going to continue with that. And facts. Right? Facts. You think these immigrants, even the legal ones, don't come here and take advantage of a citizenship that is still being denied in the most part, for black folk? Now, this is not, of course, to say that black folk haven't had any changes that are to the better. Okay? We don't live under motherfucking Jim Crow no more. All right, I don't have to walk down the street and step into the motherfucking street when white people walk past me for fear that they gonna mob up later at my impudence and me being uppity and come and lynch my black ass. I can get into a scrap with a white boy in a parking lot at a grocery store, and I could actually walk away from that incident and live to tell the story. I don't have to pack up my entire life and move any motherfucking more. Things have changed. There are things still yet to change. We still have a justice claim on this country that has been unpaid. But black people, let's stop fucking pretending and acting like we still live under chattel slavery, like we still live under Jim Crow. Our ancestors fought their ass off so we wouldn't have to live under that. They fought their asses off. Miss Denny said, we don't have a justice claim as black people. No, she was saying that that take it. Yeah, got it. Okay. So she's basically saying her mother told her that she could take advantage of affirmative action. That's something that was meant for remediation and healing of black folk, right? But yet she doesn't feel like that black folk have a justice claim on this country. So what she's saying is that a lot of immigrants will come here and take advantage of the hard fought gains that we've made as citizens in this country. Yet when we try to take advantage and get the fullest expression of our citizenship as Americans, we complaining. We lazy. We just don't want to work. You feel me? I get where she's coming from now. And she's right. Because that's another issue that I have with immigration in general, but illegal immigration especially. It's not as if these immigrants come here to America and say, oh my, look at these poor negros, mi pobrecitos, right? And identify with us. The motherfuckers get a hook, a foothold, an anchor in this country and immediately identify with pale people, with white folks, with their interest, with how they want things to be, and so on. Ms. Diddy said that's exactly what she says. Black people don't want to work for anything. They complain about slavery. I know it. Facts. That's not surprising to me. That's not surprising to me. See, that understanding only comes from having been exposed to and identifying with the white side of the American house. That's just facts. Of course, white people complain that we complain all the time, that we sitting here banging the drum about justice because you motherfuckers haven't provided justice. If you just go on ahead and make black people whole and let us march forward together as Americans, this wouldn't be an issue. I mean, think about it, family. How long is America going to sit here and allow every other country to say, oh, well, y'all trying to try to be over here and be a moral arbiter for us. What about your black people? That was one of the greatest arguments that the communists had during the Soviet era. Black men, why are you fighting us? If you were communists, we'd all be equal. We wouldn't be treating you like niggas. We would all be citizens united under one banner. That shit is motherfucking, I'm telling you, that shit is enticing. Because as I argued in my broadcast the other day, make America great, elevate the black man, we have been the vision bearers. We are America. Think about this. Family, they sit here and go all around the world as the world's policeman, right? As officer friendly for the entire globe. Wherever there is injustice, wherever there is darkness, there is America Man, right? But all somebody has to do to shut America the fuck up is say, wait a minute, look at how you treat your black folk. Gandhi used that motherfucking argument with his racist ass, right? All the revolutionary leaders from Castro to Che Guevara to all of them. You see what I'm saying? Peace to the elder. By the way, welcome to the broadcast, brother. Glad to have you. By the way, brother, this is an open forum. Introduce any topic, anything you feel like you want to talk about. We're going to chop it the fuck up today. Russia is using it right now. Facts. Now, don't get it twisted. Putin don't give a fuck about black people because there are black people in Russia. They're Africans, right? During the Soviet era, one of the things that the Soviet Union used to do was they used to go to Africa and try to, get nations to enter the Soviet sphere of influence. They would invite Africans to come and study in Russia, right? They would get a chance to go to Russian universities. They would fund certain projects and shit and infrastructure projects in Africa and so on and so forth. Similar to another motherfucking country that waves a red flag. And I ain't gonna say no names. China. Right? You feel me? So there are black people in Russia. All you have to do is just jump on YouTube, though, and see how black people from Africa get treated in Russia to know that they don't really give much of a fuck about black people. However, Putin, like any other leader, doesn't hesitate to use black bodies to make a motherfucking point. And Putin right now is saying, how is it that America could try to dictate to me and to us, the Russian people, how we should move and maneuver through the world? Just look at how they treat their black folk. Japan, BGS, get them, elder, get them. Japan used it in World War II. You know who else used it to great effect? The Vietnamese used it during the Vietnamese police action, dropping flyers over American and South Vietnamese held areas saying, black man, why are you fighting us? We never called you nigger. We don't hate you. Right? Remember our brother Muhammad Ali saying, so let me get this straight. You want me to go over to motherfucking Vietnam to fight the yellow man for you, who ain't never once called me a nigger, then come back here to be a second-class citizen? And you want me to do that shit? Fuck you, right? Every country in the world, family, has used the treatment of the descendants of slaves as the hammer, as the finisher to any motherfucking moral argument that America has ever been able to make. The question then becomes, how fucking long is America in general gonna deal with that, right? At some point, America's gonna have to deal with us. They're going to have to deal with us. We are here. We are Americans. So unless they're going to commit genocide, I'm certain that option's not off the table. So unless they're going to commit a mass genocide of roughly 43 million black people, descendants of slaves, they're going to have to deal with us at some point. This is why I say to you, family, victory is ours. Thank you, BGS. Civil rights worked as a moral argument. When Martin Luther King was standing up in the pulpits and the platforms that he spoke on, and he framed civil rights for black folk as a moral argument, he was unassailable. Unassailable. Do you understand me? Unassailable. Right now, the UN sent a special raconteur here, right? That's a representative of the UN charged with investigating certain things in UN member countries to look at the state of black Americans, right? The descendants of slaves here in the United States. And the UN itself said that the only thing that is going to address definitively the issue of the descendants of slaves in America is a comprehensive remediation and reparations plan. It's the only thing. That's matter of fact, family, I talked about this when we were talking about political agendas. That's the political agenda, period. If you not hearing people that you think you might want to vote for or support that isn't full-throated, full-bore advocates of a comprehensive remediation and reparation program for the descendants of slaves, they are wasting their motherfucking time and they're wasting yours. That's just facts. That's just facts. That's just facts. We have been the tool used to beat America the fuck up. To my white folks out there that I know who watch me, let me ask you, aren't you tired of that shit? No, I get it, right? Miss Denny said, how do we turn a moral argument into an actual win for black people? I'm going to try to go in on a little bit on that right now. But to do that, I need to talk to white folks for a minute. So white folks, let me holler at you for a minute. All right? Now, I recognize one key thing. While your people collectively have control over all the wealth and resources, there's a lot of you motherfuckers out there that ain't got it like that. So hearing me say that we should do something as Americans for black people, specifically black people, I can see how that could rub you the wrong way. I absolutely can see that. But let me ask you one simple question. Let's say that we do institute a comprehensive remediation and reparations program for the descendants of slaves, for black people in America. And we finally become on par, not superior to, but on par with our contribution to the American economy, the nation itself, on par with you. Who would you rather have as a co-worker, as a boss, as a supporter, as a fellow neighbor? Somebody who then will be proud of the nation that finally made them whole, that lived up to the ideals that this country claimed to espouse from day one. Somebody who could look at you for the first time, not as his enemy, not as his historical and current oppressor, but as his fellow journeyman, who was willing to walk the same path as you, who's willing to fight, bleed, and die for you? Or would you rather have us be at loggerheads? Aren't you tired of feeling as if we're going to do you in, and that at some point we're the population that somebody could co-opt as their entree to destroying America as a whole? Aren't you tired of laying your head down at night wondering just what the black persons that are around you every day, because we've been as close to you as your own breath since we fucking been here. If we want to put hands on you, we can. A black man with a broom and a 32-2 smile could get in anywhere where there's white folks. Aren't you tired of waiting for retribution, for the other shoe to drop? Aren't you tired of all the strife, all of the uncertainty in your dealings every day with people who speak the same language as you, who talk like you, who dress like you, who eat what you eat, who believe what you believe, who think what you do? Sure, we are children of Africa. But God damn it, I'm just as American as you. I'm more American than many of you. I can trace my ancestry in this country back to the 1700s on the black side and the 1500s on the white side. Many of my so-called fellow white citizens in this country can trace their motherfucking heritage back to Ellis Island in the 1920s. You motherfuckers are immigrants yourselves. And yet, here I am, as the most American of us, saying to you, let's do justice and let's be done with it. Let's stop allowing every penny-ante-ass dictator and every other plutocrat and every other motherfucking tyrant around the world point the finger at our beloved nation and say, well, you can't say shit to us. Look at what you're doing to black folk. As if you don't know. Aren't you ready to be done with it? It wouldn't take as much as you would think it would, first of all. I'm not sitting here arguing cut every black person a check. You idiots. But we should at least have the discussion. The moment we get justice, white people, is the true moment when you can rest your head and take a real, true, deep breath. Facts. Give us justice. Do justice with us, and we will have peace. We will be a united nation, running roughshod over all enemies, foreign and domestic. Because you already, quiet as it's kept, have black people that sign up every day to fight against your enemies, foreign and domestic, that you still won't give justice to. They raise their right hand and they say, I, and state their name and say, I solemnly swear to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. They sign their names on the dotted line and they put their bone and blood and breath on the line for you, with no goddamn hope of justice from you. So imagine if our fellow white citizens actually joined up with us to finally make justice be the order of the day in America. A new sun rise over our nation. BGS said they spent $6 trillion on the latest wars. They could have given reparations for 10% of that. You feel me? I mean, it's ridiculous. Shit, we got programs right now that don't even involve cutting black people a red fucking cent. Tax moratorium for 50 to 100 years. Unlimited free education for all descendants of slaves, pre-K through post-doc. Not a single penny in tuition, books, lab fees, none of that. If they need dorms, doesn't matter, paid, right? Health care for all 43 million of the descendants of slaves in this country. Ain't nobody got cut no checks yet, right? The setting aside of zero interest loans that can be forgiven if necessary for the acquisition of our own pieces of dirt of America. You know, kind of like the Homestead Act that you motherfuckers had in the 1800s and the 1900s. Why is it that when black people demand it, we begging, we complaining, we asking for a handout? But when Roosevelt instituted the New Deal with making sure to put in provisos to eliminate domestics and agricultural workers, which just so happens at that time in our economy was 90% of black people, you didn't have no fucking problem with that. When we saying the government should have job guarantees for the descendants of slaves, guarantees of job, of full employment until we retire, and guaranteed pensions for the descendants of slaves, you got a motherfucking problem with that. But you didn't have a problem, your grandparents didn't have a problem with the CCC and the WPA, did they? When we ask for food security for the descendants of slaves, for people to make sure that they have enough sustenance in the refrigerator to feed ourselves, we leeches off the government teat. But when we were denied it, y'all had no problem with the food stamp program. You had no problem with women, infant, and children. You had no problem with none of that. When the welfare system and the entitlement programs was white only, this country loves entitlements. When we say that black farmers should have a moratorium on any loans that they've had to take out on their land so they can retain the possession of their land and provide agricultural services for America, we sitting here talking about socialism. But when you got white farmers sitting back getting checks under the CRT program that's paying them not to grow shit, oh, that's just capitalism. Come on, family, stop me if I'm telling the motherfucking lie. You know what, white folks? We see through your ass like glass. Y'all sit here and talk about free markets. You sit here and talk about full-throated capitalism. But you only for that for everybody else. When it comes to you, you want socialism right down the motherfucking line. Even your corporations want socialism. In this country, you can't even get corporations to pay tax. Matter of fact, many of your largest corporations you subsidizing not just by buying their products, you subsidizing them directly through taxes, because these motherfuckers are filing tax forms. Companies like Apple, that has the largest market cap of any company on the planet Earth, getting a $300 million tax return? A tax return? Are you fucking high? But you got no problem with socialism when it affects your little pet corporations and shit. No, you just got a problem with socialism because socialism might actually benefit a black face. Y'all sit here, all you motherfucking armchair liberals, y'all make me sick. All of my so-called liberal white folks out there, I actually despise you more than I despise the conservatives. Because at least the conservatives got the motherfucking courage of their goddamn convictions. I can at least trust that when a conservative opens his mouth, he's telling the motherfucking truth about how he sees shit. But you liberals are the worst. Y'all do the most. Y'all do the most. Y'all sit here and uplift countries like Norway, like Sweden, as these socialist paradises that everybody can have if we just change shit here in America. Yet, strangely enough, the one group amongst the liberals, which is black folk, who've been arguing the hardest for the transformation of our system to a system similar to that, we can't even get a voice in the government when y'all in charge. Y'all sit here and tell black folk that if we only close our eyes and believe in si se puede, yes we can, we'll put a liberal in the office who's gonna make it possible for us to have utopia. And guess what? Strangely enough, the liberal gets in the office and SBA loans for black businesses drops. Motherfucking mass incarceration for my people still continues. Cuts to entitlement programs that effectively direct the bottom line for my people get enacted. Black people didn't have it nearly as bad under Ronald Reagan as we had under motherfucking Bill Clinton, a goddamn Democrat. You motherfuckers got a lot of balls. You got a lot of nerve, you liberal bastards, to try to come to us and shame us into supporting your motherfucking agendas. With the motherfucking crash of the mortgage market in 2008, Barack Obama, a former community organizer, goes and gives billions of dollars to GM and opens up a motherfucking window at the Fed Reserve to basically give free money to the banks. And how many of you, not just black people now, I'm still talking to you white folks, how many of you were able to save your homes? Fuck black people for a minute. How many of you, under this so-called liberal president, this motherfucker that y'all claimed was a goddamn socialist, was able to save your homes from foreclosure? How many? White folks lost their homes in droves, just like black folk lost their homes in droves. With the collapse of the economy in 2008, white folks lost their jobs, was homeless, sleeping in their motherfucking cars, just like black people was sleeping in their cars. White folks, what if your new friend here, Mark Black, was to tell you, both liberal and conservative, that what's coming down the pike for all of yous don't give a fuck about white and black no more? What if I was to tell you that what's coming down the pike for us is coming for all of us? That's right. It ain't gonna give a fuck about melanin or non-melanin. It ain't gonna give a fuck about the fact whether you was immigrant or you could trace your shit back to motherfucking Plymouth Rock. What's coming down the pike for America, unless we headed off at the pass and we may be too late for that? What's coming down the pike is fucking all of us. All of us. While you sitting here getting sold hope and change, while you sitting here getting sold dog whistles, what's coming down the pike is going to tear your motherfucking asses up. But I have something I would like to warn you white folks, my pale people, about. Y'all are not used to dealing with the type of adversity that's coming. Y'all not used to having to take 15 cents and turn it into $1. You're not used to taking what you got left in the cabinet at the end of the month and making a meal out that shit to feed 4, 5, 6, 10 motherfuckers. But there is an American group that is. And the first shall be made last, and the last will be made first. In the time that's coming for this country, because America's had a good run. The United States has had a good run. But like every other global hegemon, so as it has risen, it will fall. Yes, if you watching live, there's the number up there. I got 7. I actually am shocked. That's pretty good. I got 7 folk up there watching live. By the way, shout out to Black Privilege who joined the Angry Black Sheep. That's my latest sub. If you want to sub to me, make sure you do so. If you the latest one, you get shine on every broadcast. All right? You see the goal right above my head, by the way, family? That's the goal. That's the goal. We aiming for 1,000 Angry Black Sheep and supporters by June, by the end of June. You can help with that and it don't cost you nothing. But if you do have some spare coins, trust me, I'm currently unemployed. I ain't ashamed to say it. Brother is unemployed. Your spare coins help put energy in my life, food in my mouth, whatever you want to call it. So make sure you click that link for me and show me some love. All right? Family, this is an open broadcast. Everybody is welcome here. I'm going to stay on this motherfucker till I just get drained. You know why? Because every so often, we just need to get together and talk, goddammit. I wish I had a means. By the way, that reminds me. One of the things that I wanted to mention during Sucka-Free Saturday is I'm looking for a way to be able to take call-ins during my broadcast. Now, I have a mixer board that I operate off of. This is actually a mic, regular standard broadcast mic, on a condenser mic with phantom power, all this other shit. I'm getting technical for a minute for all you motherfuckers who gonna get bored with your attention spans the size of a gnat asshole. Just turn away for a second. I'm just gonna get technical for a second, and then y'all can come back. All right. But I got a mixer board over here and a mic set up. Right, I run the mixer board through my computer, right, through a USB connection and all of that, right? So I've got 12 channels on this mixer, all right? And I want to try to figure out a way to be able to have my people call in live during every broadcast and speak their piece, all right? So if you have some technical know-how or you know a way that I can do that where people are not getting charged through their cell phone company, because I know that T-Mo is charging like $0.01 a minute if you're using certain types of conference services and shit like that, right? So if you know any technical way that I can be able to do this where everybody ain't calling my motherfucking phone number, because I love you, but I don't love your ass that much, all right? But Universal, by the way, welcome to the broadcast. Universal said, I believe you might be able to connect Blog Talk Radio to OBS to have the call-ins for free. Yes, I am using OBS. Do me a favor, Universal. Let me pop in my email address here. Oh, snap. Thank you, brother BGS. I appreciate the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are the first, but hopefully not the last. So yeah, Universal, that is the that's my email right there, okay? Make sure you hit me up if you have a link to a resource, because I fucks heavy with OBS. All right, this is my platform kind of moving forward, right? So I'm learning the tips and the tricks and all of that. If there's a way to incorporate, say, Blog Talk Radio or whatever the case may be into OBS and have that live call-in ship available, that's where I'm taking my platform. Other people have engagement with their audience through different ways, but that's the way that I want to do it. And again, shout out to you, brother. Thank you so much for the donation. I really do appreciate it. You know I love you. All right. So let's there's another topic that I want to talk about. Wow, like I said, the floor is open, and thank you for that, Universal. I really do appreciate it. Universal, are you subscribed to me? Because if you haven't, make sure you do so. It's only good content coming, more good stuff coming. All right, and I want to make sure you get a chance to see it. If you do sub, by the way, family, again, everybody's welcome here. This is the home of the angry outcast, the black sheep. All right. If you can support what we doing, thank you very much, Universal. I appreciate it. If you support what we doing, you are welcome here. I don't give a shit about your ethnicity. I don't care who you fucking or not fucking. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care what your motherfucking background is. Over here, we're going to speak hard truth. We're going to look for solutions to our collective problems, and we're going to grow together. Starting with 1,000 of us, but we ain't stopping there. All right. So another thing that I wanted to talk about on Sucka-Free Saturday. Let me stretch my motherfucking arms right here. I want to talk to the brothers for a minute. Because I've been hearing a lot of good topics going around, especially the black manosphere lately. Shout out to Angry Man. Shout out to the brother BGS. Shout out to Cerulean, right? To the black manosphere. We've been having some real hardcore discussions, deep discussions on different things, right? Different topics. And so I wanted to introduce something that will open the discussion for brothers who perhaps are not a part of that regime, a part of the movement as of yet. I want to talk about brothers' duplicity in our interactions with the black woman. Duplicity. Look it the fuck up. All right? Duplicity are telling of falsehoods. Okay? The reason why I want to discuss this topic is because I truly believe that there can and will be a sea change in how we operate with our sisters. But I do believe that it has to start with one key thing. And that is that brothers need to stop fucking lying. We need to stop lying. We need to stop lying. We are telling both lies by commission, meaning we're actively lying, and we are also lying by omission. Let me explain. We are lying by omission when we fail to mention the truth, when we fail to mention the reality of the circumstances. But even when we're directly asked about the reality of what we think, how we operate, what we want as black men, we then start the equivalent of buck dancing for pale people. You know what I'm talking about. We start simping. Oh, girl, I know some cats be on that, you gonna do what I say type stuff, but I don't really roll like that. I believe it should be like 50-50, like you get a say and I get a say and everybody gets a say. Simping. So we not only not telling the truth that we know is the truth, but even when we're asked directly what the truth is, what's the reality of the situation, we still telling lies. We start soft-shoeing. We start simping. And I gotta tell you, brothers, that's gonna be a motherfucking problem for your man, Mark Black. And not just for me, but for other brothers out here. And I'm going to explain to you today why that's a motherfucking problem. It's a motherfucking problem for a whole host of reasons. But I'll start with this. By the way, shout out to Miss Denny. She does have a blog, The Black Honey Badger, the great mighty black defender of black men. And she's female, right? So all you sisters who think that motherfuckers is mammies or pick-me's, you need to go over there and get a dose of reality from our sister, Miss Denny. Miss Denny, hit these motherfuckers with that link to your blog. She's chopping it up on the phone because this shit's live and she here. God damn it. Kicking your ass. Sorry. But at any rate, brothers, we need to start telling the truth of the matter. Now, what am I talking about when I say that we need to start telling the truth? Well, it's very simple. We need to first start telling the black woman what we really think about her. Now, I grant you that it's easy enough to tell a black woman that you love black women, right? We all come from black wombs, you know, mama, right? So I imagine that your ability to express your esteem for the black woman is not at all difficult. I'm talking about the real truth. I'm talking about the truth that most of the motherfuckers you just don't like. I'm talking about that truth. You know, how you wander the streets praying to whatever respective deity you believe in, that you run across a black woman that actually sees your ass as a mammal. You know, that truth. Because you know that's how you feel. We ain't talking about that, though. We're not talking about the truth of mama, right? We get our little foot in any area of success, and no matter how many black men had a say in how we operate and how we do things, right? The first motherfucking name you shout out on a public venue is mama. And I feel you. But we're not telling the truth of mama. For real, are we? Are we black men? Nah. We're not telling the truth about the fact that your mother sold you a bill of goods. Your mother, we're not talking about the fact that your mother raised you to worship wombs, to see her as a god, that she's infallible. She can't fuck up. Even when she fuck up, she can't fuck up. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about the transferal of that authority from mama to whatever chick you end up fucking with. We're not talking about that. We also are not talking about the resentment that you feel, brother, when you realize what's been done to you and how much it's making you have hatred for the motherfucker you laying next to at night. We ain't talking about that either. We're not talking about that. You see what I'm saying, brothers? I'm saying that there can and will be a change in how things are done. There are many good ideas, many wonderful plans. As my brother, Elder BGS said, we live in a gynocracy. And trust me, black man, when I tell you that it will not shock you to note that we are the only ones. Sure, this is a gynocentric society in a lot of ways these days. White dudes got their complaints. That's why they have groups like the MRAs, the men's rights movement, and the MGTOWs, right? Men going their own way. We're not even the only countries that's experiencing this. This is true all across the board, all around the world. In Japan, you have the herbivore men who just say, fuck women. They would rather sit in a room with a computer and have virtual sex with avatars than to fuck with women. So trust me, you're not the only one that is experiencing the pressure, the heat of a gynocentric culture. But in this country, you're the only one that exists under a de facto gynocracy. Let's break that down. Gyn, Greek for female, woman, right? And krasi from kratos, which means power or rule. You live under the rule of the woman. How does that make you feel? Let's talk about that for a second, brothers. Let's talk about that. Because see, everywhere else, a statement like that is immediately fucking attacked. What you mean? Talking about you live under the rule of women. The whole world would be better off if you lived under the rule of women. You so violent, y'all so this. So immediately deflection, denial, discreditation, and all of the same other motherfucking D's that we used to whenever the topic of like, say, whiteism or white supremacy comes up. But not here. So let's talk about how that makes your ass feel. You are ruled by women. Every motherfucker in your life that's black, that has authority, is a female. Every single one. Even if you have a daddy. Most of the time, that nigga's henpecked. Because that's an old folks term, right? I know, I'm bringing back some old traditional ass shit when I say a term like henpecked. See, my people's from the South. We preserve all those old ass terms. We got a metaphor for everything and we preserve terms that motherfuckers don't even use no more. Your daddy is henpecked. Imagine, if you will, the image of a chicken coop or a chicken area, a chicken confined area. You have the rooster, right? He's the king of the roost. Now imagine all the hens pecking at his ass. Beak, 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 just chomping at his ass. Because that's how chickens fight. That's how they attack. He's one rooster. And every fucking female around him is pecking at his ass. So odds are that your daddy just said, fuck it. And he either acceded to the rule of the gynocracy or he split. So just the fact that you grew up in a two-parent household as a black man don't save you. It does not exempt you. The gynocracy is widespread, pervasive, and endemic. Alan, I don't know if you're trolling, but I like chickens. And I like chickens fried with hot sauce. So fuck you. I'm with that. You ain't saying nothing that's insulting to me. I don't know if you was trying to throw shade, but I love chicken and hot sauce. Shit. But I love it. I'm not saying you was throwing shade. I don't know if you are or not. It'll come clear in the wash. But yeah, we don't know nothing about chickens either. Fried with hot sauce. Whatever. I feel you. I was using the metaphor of henpeck. Welcome to the broadcast. Thank you, Alan. Shit, I fucks with chickens. Thank you, Shar. Welcome to the broadcast, sister. Glad to have you. I hope that your foray out there into the Arctic wilderness that is your home at this point was a safe and productive one. And get your rest, sister. I'm glad that you're done with your shoveling and shit. All right? So, we need to talk about the effects. We need to tell the truth, black men, about how living as subjects under the gynocracy, the black female rulership class. We need to talk about that. Because I'm certain that you have an opinion about it. I'm certain you do. Right? I mean, come on, brothers. We used to us not really being in touch with our feelings. That don't mean we don't have them. That just means we're not used to expressing them. But I'm telling you here at Black Outcast Media, this is a safe space. So you can go ahead and pop in the chat and let it out. But I'm going to tell you what I learned about what I feel about that fact. I feel betrayed by that. You know why I feel betrayed? I feel betrayed because when I was coming up, and even my mother, who I love dearly, did this shit to me. When my stepfather was kicking her ass, breaking her nose, fucking her up, beating everybody in the goddamn house like they were slaves. She told me that I'm the man of her house. Say bye-bye to my childhood. Say bye-bye to my innocence, such as it was. Say bye-bye to my safety, my sanctity, my integrity. Because even though they act the role of queen, these motherfucking gynocratic rulers still have to at least have a king. And if it can't be no man that will do what they tell him to do, it will be a man that has no choice but to do what they tell him to do. Because they get you when you are not able to question. They get you before you have that imprint put in your head from your culturation and your secondary socialization. You a captive motherfucking audience. You the man she can make into whatever the fuck she wants. How long have we lived under a gynocracy? Too goddamn long. Put whatever number on it you want to. One day is too goddamn long. And you could just see that from the effects on our community, on our collective. We've lived under the rule of the pussy for generations now. And look at where the fuck it's got us. Look at where the fuck it's got us. It's got us a group of sacred cows that are above reproach, above accountability, above critique, above touching. A sacred cow on a pedestal so high that the only thing we're allowed to do is fall on our knees in worship to the Black Queen. And then it's got us, her peons, her tools in her tool chest. Bunch of niggas walking around like we got craftsmen tattooed on our back and fit in red drawers. And to the extent that you can be of service to and utility to your gynocratic rulers, you are considered to have some degree of value. Should you not be compliant, should you not provide utility and service to your gynocratic rulers, your life is forfeit. Whether it's through drug abuse and use, whether it's through homelessness, whether it's through lack of opportunities for education and employment, whether it's through 911 directly playing murder by numbers. We Black men have been taught that we're going to comply with our gynocratic rulers. That's right. Today, in your neighborhood, in the place where you reside, there is a Black man who is being currently attacked by the woman he claims is his mate. She may start off verbally berating him. She may then decide, fuck it, it's Saturday, I'm feeling froggy, and she might go upside his motherfucking head. And that shit feel good to her. She been putting up with shit all for them white motherfuckers on her job all week. So she might hit him again. Now, if he's like the average well-trained peon, right? He's going to take both of them slaps or those socks, and he's not going to give her a response. But since she's in it for the response, now it's time to take it to the next level. So then she's going to start breaking up his shit. She's going to go in there and take a hammer to his Xbox, or throw a pot through his big screen TV, or slice up his new motherfucking coat, or throw his J's out the window. By now, your brother is on level 9, and he's thinking, dear Lord, come down from on high and stop me from killing this motherfucker. And he may look at her and say, oh, you done fucked up. Oh, no. Because that's where he fucked up. Because she's then going to pick up the motherfucking phone. And she going to call Johnny Law, her side dude. Oh, I take that back. Her main dude, because you her side dude. You just the motherfucker she got there for utility and dick when she feel like it. So she going to call her main squeeze, Johnny Law, who's going to promptly come in there and educate you as to why you should not ever think about retribution for the injuries that she caused you. Because somehow or another, you may not know why, you may not know how, but you deserve it. I mean, in point of fact, you deserve it just because you black, male, and happen to be breathing. You know, you're not dead. That's all you need to deserve the ill treatment that you get as a black man from the hands of your black woman. Exactly, Alan. And call White Zaddy right after he retaliate. Hell, right after? Shit. Most of us brothers in that situation would be lucky if we get an opportunity to retaliate. Because after they break up your shit, and they may not have gotten enough of a response from that, they may then escalate to physical attacks. That's when brothers get hot stuff thrown on them, like grits or oatmeal or hot grease, suffering 2nd and 3rd degree burns. That's when she picks up the knife out of the kitchen, right? That's when she shatters the bottle of motherfucking yak y'all was drinking on and starts swinging at you. That's when motherfuckers end up in the hospital and possibly the grave. And all of it with relative impunity. That bitch could kill you. And she won't do a day. Because what's she gonna say? They show up. Your body's there lifeless, starting to get cold on the floor. And she tell them, he attacked me. He used to attack me all the time. Everybody know he was just a dog. I was afraid for my life. And she ain't gonna do a motherfucking day in jail. She done denigrated your name, demeaned your masculinity, and when that didn't work, started destroying your property. And when that didn't work, was willing to do real violence to your person to the point of even killing you. And just like the white motherfuckers that have oppressed us all, she's gonna get away with it. Your word against hers. And 2 people can keep a secret if one of them dead. So what you gonna say? Guys told me that when they go to classes for domestic violence, they won't let them out until they admit they're wrong. You know why? That's because of the Duluth model. Because a lot of brothers ain't up on that. There was a series of programs instituted in the late 70s to try to deal with the problem of domestic violence. Now, never mind the data that suggests, especially in the black community, that domestic violence or intimate partner violence, as I prefer to call it, is bidirectional. Meaning Black women are doing it to black men are doing it to black women. It's bi-directional. The rates only differ like 2 or 3%. And that has to account too for the underreporting of violence being committed against black men by black women, because we don't usually tend to talk about it. When's the last time you had a friend of yours, one of your dudes say, man, I can't go home. The last time I went home, she fucked me up, man. She tore up all my shit. I'm scared the bitch is gonna kill me this time. When's the last time you heard that from your brother? I'm 40, almost 46 years old. Be 46 here in a week. And I have never once in my life heard that conversation. But I know it's happening. I know it's happening. I done seen my dudes get hot grease thrown on their ass and end up with motherfuckers needing skin grafts and surgery and shit. I done seen my dudes get stabbed the fuck up. I done seen my dudes have every possession they own thrown in the motherfucking trash bags, sat on the front porch of some house somewhere, and the shit lit on fire with lighter fluid. So I know this shit is happening. But strangely enough, we're not talking about it. We're not talking about not only how it feels when it's done to us, but how the brothers feel that see this shit happening. How come we're not telling the truth, brothers? It can't just be because they always trying to shout us down and shut us up. In the era of media platforms like YouTube, any black man who wants to can have a voice. All you need is a USB camera and a microphone. And you can tell the whole motherfucking world your whole life experience, and can't nobody do shit. They cannot shut you up. So why ain't we telling the truth about this shit? Here's another thing that we're not telling the truth about. We're not telling the truth about the real fact that romantically, sexually, whatever you want to call it, that we live in a de facto polygamy. Yep. Alan said, clothes cut many times, vehicles with sugar in the damn tank. The elder said, brainwashed. Yeah, brother, but I'm here to scrub some brains today. This is Sucka-Free Saturday. We don't do brainwashing over here. We do brain cleaning. We clean out them cobwebs and getting some brothers to open their motherfucking eyes. Family, another thing we ain't talking about is the fact that we live in de facto polygamy. Not polygamy, P-O-L-Y-G-A-M-Y, polygamy, P-O-L-Y-G-Y-N-Y, polygamy. And what does that mean? That means that a single black male is having sexual interactions with multiple black women. Now, we know this. This is the worst kept motherfucking secret in the goddamn black community, the black collective, is that the brothers got more than one. The odds are, even if you think you got the best dude on the planet, if your girlfriends ain't already fucking him, they trying to. If your auntie ain't already giving that brother some trim on the side, she's working on it. Because of the gynocracy under which we exist, the normal state of affairs wherein the woman is the sexual selector and the man is the sexual pursuer has been warped. It has been reversed. So now the sexual competition comes from the female side of the house. And the males have the capability to choose who it is that they want to interact sexually with. But that's a perversion. That's a warping of how the shit normally goes. And see, brothers, we can't handle it. We can't really handle it well, being the ones that can say, oh, Oh, okay, I want to fuck you, and I want to fuck you, and I want to fuck you. Nah, we like kids in a motherfucking candy store. Biologically speaking, we're hardwired to want to fuck everything, every female that ain't related to us genetically. We want to fuck it. That's the biological imperative. That is what drives males, period. Not just black males, white males, Asian males, motherfucking pale males, goddamn Arab males, you name it. That's the biological imperative for males. Take them seed, go thee forth, and spread them shits. So making men or males the sexual selectors, we don't know how to fucking handle that shit. Brother BGS said black men are interchangeable parts and always have been. Facts. That's the fact of the matter, brothers, is that we can get in where we fit in. If it's with just one female due to our circumstances, our relative place in the hierarchy, whether we alpha, beta, or omega, or sigma, or whatever the case may be. And I'm not talking about the shit that's been debunked about wolves. I'm just talking about, the brothers who are upper crust, who got the means, the resources, down to the brothers who kind of follow his lead and follow his discipleship, to the brothers who could be alphas, but just say, nah, I'm cool, I'm rolling solo, and so on and so forth, right? Regardless of where your status is in the black male hierarchy, we all are interchangeable. We can slot in where we fit in. You feel me? But because of the perversion of the roles in our society, right, under the gynocracy, instead of us chasing the situations that we want to be a part of, we're now having essentially what constitutes the pick of the motherfucking litter. And just like a fat kid in a motherfucking candy store with a sign on the window that says all this candy is free, niggas ain't really acting right. We enjoying the fruits of it, but we not being honest about it. And that's a motherfucking problem. Because you see, the fact is that because we live under a de facto polygamy, but without any type of communication, then rather than building in protections for our people, both male and female, and for the children that are usually the fruit of these polygamous unions, instead we all running around just free fucking willy-nilly. This is why the STI rate amongst black women is through the motherfucking roof. This is why in places like Atlanta, I wouldn't even step foot into the city without wearing a goddamn body condom. Just in case some of the shit they got floating around down there might be fucking airborne. Black women see us as interchangeable so they can have multiple men without guilt. There's that aspect of it too. She don't like Pookie. She always got Ray Ray. She don't like Ray Ray. She got, Jaquan. She don't like Jaquan. He ain't acting right this week. She could just slot another dick in. But isn't it interesting though, BGS? Because I'm going to get to another truth we ain't telling either. And it ties into this. But isn't it interesting that a lot of these sisters have the same circle of dicks? They just keep switching up around. Isn't that interesting? Right? That brothers can essentially go through and, with some relative act right, fuck as many sisters as he wants. Sisters have the same group of dicks. They travel. I heard it was I think it was Tom Likas a long time ago on his broadcast, or Roosh, or one of them white boys who's like, one of those men's rights cats, or, the manosphere, the white manosphere, they called it the cock carousel. We would say dick, because we black people, the dick carousel. They just keep riding the dick carousel around the same group of motherfuckers. So she got 5 motherfucking kids by 4 different baby daddies, and all these niggas know each other. And they ain't sweating it, really. You know what I'm saying? They're not really sweating it. Matter of fact, I would argue in the black community, especially in the poorer black communities, most of the cats that got women with them is cats that they homeboys are smashed already. We just be trading ass back and forth. Everybody in the hood is fucking everybody. Because there's that old saying, right? That you having sex with everybody the person you having sex has sex with. So yes, you having sex with your nigga Rambo. You having sex with your nigga D. You having sex. Why? Because you done fucked the bitch that they was fucking too. That she probably got babies with. Your man Rambo coming to you say, hey, yo, I know she with you now. Peace, Gab. Welcome to the broadcast. Glad to have you. Right? Your man Rambo coming to you say, man, I know she with you now, dog, but you good peoples, man. I know you going to make sure my kid is straight and we going to work it. Y'all work it out. Y'all gonna work it out. It's basically BGS has hit it on the barrelhead. We live in a system that's a de facto train. By the time most black women become sexually active, she runs through the same group of dicks. They just all run. It's serial monogamy if you're really trying to be nice about it, but it's essentially a long-term train. I smash, and you smash, and my dude smash, and we smash, and everybody smash. And now, about 5 of us got 4 babies with this bitch. Yeah, this is Mark Black, Gab. Why ain't we telling the truth about that, black men? Why ain't we telling the truth about the fact that most of us brothers who got the means got us more than one that we fucking with? And don't act brand new. Do not. Fuck that. Do not act brand new. Don't act like that Paw didn't have your family and a family across town too. Don't act brand new. Don't act like this shit is not traditional. What's up to you, Gab? I'm glad you showed up for the broadcast. This is open forum, Sucka-Free Saturday. So if you got a topic that you think we want to talk about, introduce that motherfucker. We're going to have at it. Stop. Niggas, please stop acting brand new. Please, for your boy Mark Black, please stop acting brand new. Stop acting like Paw didn't have a motherfucking family across town, maybe even 2, especially if he had one of them good government jobs. Don't act like this is new. We talking like this shit's only been going on for the last few years. Nope. We have been living in a de facto polygamy. BGS says 60% of black women have multiple babies by more than one man. Okay, right? Like, and water is wet, you know, sun shines, grass is green. Like, that's not even shocking. That's not even surprising. Because they ride in the dick carousel. From Raheem to Jerome to Paul to D-Mac to JoJo. And keep going around in a motherfucking circle. They just keep getting traded around the same group of dudes. Yeah, Shar survived, Miss Denny. I told her the same thing. I told her get some rest. Because she was out there shoveling her ass off. Why ain't we telling the truth about that, brothers? Why ain't we telling the truth that if we actually have some substance, if we have some means about ourselves, if we have some resources, not just monetary, but mental resources, emotional resources, physical resources, if we have those, that under our current gynocracy, that we are going most likely to have more than one. Why ain't we just telling them that? Saying, hey, yes, I love you. I think you great. You dope. But I think your homegirl is dope too. Why aren't we building protections into this? Thank you. BGS says since the slave farms where black women had 12 kids by multiple fathers, including Massa. Facts. This shit is not new. We have been living under a polygamy since the plantation. And it don't look like it's going to change anytime soon. You got two reasons right off the bat why it's not going to change anytime soon. Number one, because black women outnumber black men. I think the ratio of black women to black men is like 57% to 43% black men, right? Meaning that of our population, right, 100% black people, you have 57% of black people are female and 43% are male. So you have a 7% deficit between the sexes, between the genders, I should say, or sexes, genders, whatever, fuck, okay? Right? So you have that difference. Now, think about this. Because this one's going to throw your ass for a motherfucking loop. 57% of the black population, this is assuming we don't marry out. This is assuming that we were all available and not drugged out, mass incarcerated, dead, and otherwise indisposed. Let's just say that 100% of adult, sexually compatible, sexually capable, able to reproduce black people were available to each other. All right? I told you the ratio, 57 to 43. What we've been doing, and it's complete fuckery, what we've been doing is saying that 43% of men are going to have mates and 7% of black women will just have to do without. I know when you say this shit out loud, it's fucking ridiculous. BGS said by 35, 80% of black women have at least one child. Facts, right? Because we don't put no respect on eldership no more. We don't put respect on putting things off till later, right? Our culture, as acculturated as black people, is a culture of youth, which is why brothers like BGS have to beg for respect from younger brothers who should be discipling to him, because we don't understand how to respect elderhood anymore. But I digress. All right? So what you telling me is this, that under the current standard monogamy, right, that 7% of black women are just destined to be spinsters. That they gonna sit at home with their cats and their yarn and they motherfucking knitting sticks, rocking back and forth in the chair talking about, girl, I remember when I used to. No. Miss Diddy got it right. Them 7% is gonna get a man. It's just gonna be your man, bitch. It's just gonna be your man. You know, that nigga you just know is loyal to you to the end. Y'all Bonnie and Clyde. He's your sun, you his moon, and y'all got the stars. Bullshit. You got a man. Your girlfriend don't got a man. She's of the 7%. I don't give a fuck how long you done known this motherfucker. I don't care if y'all grew up together playing with Barbies and shit together. I don't care if you niggas share the same birthday. All right? Y'all twins in everything but name. If that nigga has even the smallest modicum of any redeeming quality, your girl gonna try to fuck your man. And I would argue that she's more likely to be successful than not. Because the biological imperative drives me. That's not an excuse. That's fucking genetics. I'm sorry. But if I see pussy, and especially if it's novel or new pussy, damn it, I better pray to Jesus and 3 other motherfucking white people or I'm gonna have a problem in this bitch. Miss Diddy said, you know, I used to have a huge problem with corporate marriage, but realizing there are more of me than men, I have no problem sharing a man as long as I have the protection of his name. Again, see, this is what happens, family, when we don't tell the motherfucking truth. We don't have protections, right? So instead of this brother of substance having two wives who have his name, who have his security, who have his right fist and whatever weapons he could put in it for their protection, who have his loyalty, who have his whole focus. He got one who pretends she's the main and the other who knows she's the side. And that ain't conducive to happiness for none of them. Because we know we like to hit it raw. Women like it when we hit it raw, and we like to hit it raw. So some kids is going to ensue along with various series of STIs like chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, and hopefully not the shit, right? Not the HIV. So the way we doing it now, nobody can be fucking honest. So there's no protection. Your kids are born into the world as bastards with no daddy to call they own. No man that belong to them, that he is able to say, these is mine, openly and honestly. This shit is demeaning. And think about this. You think that the side, thank you, Miss Denny hit this on the barrel head. You think the side chick wants to be the side chick? So she's not even, look, she's not even in the thing to make it harmonious at that point. She's in it to replace the other chick. But now your side chick, she also has other chicks that she fuck with, and the cycle continues. You think just because she becomes the main chick, that her girls ain't gonna be looking at your dude like, oh, he's so dope, he's so smart, he's so nice, girl, he's so sweet. In the back of her mind, she's sitting there like, I'm gonna fuck this shit out that nigga there, man. Woo! Niggas, you know I'm telling the truth. Look, brothers, let's be honest for just a second. Please. All right, let's stop bullshitting. If you a brother that has a job, it don't have to be fucking $50,000 a year, balling out of control, and fucking Google, okay? You got a job. You may have a piece of transportation, right? It ain't the greatest car, it's a used car off the motherfucking parking lot. You dig? CRU, you wildin' the fuck out. Boy, you better strap the fuck up. Hell's wrong with you, man? Nigga, this your dick is not a right now. You thinking your dick is a motherfucking Barrett 50 cal? What that motherfucker is a roulette wheel. You get back at me, CRU, when your ass is stuck paying child support. This nigga here, I don't give a fuck. I had my second kid at 38. Nigga, you ain't getting a pass. Biology is biology. This nigga here. Boy. CRU. Hey. Oh, boy. Don't. CRU, goddamn it, you. I'm not fucking with you like this right now. But BGS said it right. You are already ahead of the motherfucking game about 50% of the way if you have a car and a job. And I'm going to tell you what gives you the other 50%, where you can literally fuck any fucking woman you want for the most part. If you got a place that has your name on the lease or a mortgage, you got a job. It could be minimum wage. You got a car. It don't even have to be a new motherfucking car. It just got to run when you stick the key in that bitch. And you got a place that you rest your head where your name is either on the lease or the mortgage. And the motherfucking black world is your oyster. I bullshit thee not. I bullshit thee not. For all of this fuckery that the sisters is trying to lay down on us, about, oh, I need a nigga who's gonna be able to marry me and take me on a honeymoon to Aruba, and I need a motherfucker, I need rocks, nigga, I need rocks. You gotta put a rent. Bullshit. The survey says, nope. Niggas with minimum wage jobs, motherfucking 1989 Honda Accords, and an efficiency apartment with the motherfucking key that got his name on it is fucking whoever the fuck they want. BGS said, if you got a weed plant in the backyard, you gotta hear facts. Facts, my nigga, facts. Let's keep it a fucking buck. Nigga, if you holding on a QP on the regular, you fucking without question. Don't even throw no little drink off in there. If you know how to mix up like mixed drinks, because you know these bitches love they mixed drinks, right? So if you can mix a bitch up a Cosmo or a motherfucking Manhattan or a goddamn pina colada, you set for life. You are set for life. You will never be without pussy. Facts. Never. And I'm telling the motherfucking truth. I'm telling the goddamn truth, brothers. I'm telling the goddamn truth. If your ass is too scary through your acculturation, through your fear, and I get it, brother. I understand why you afraid. But if you too scared to goddamn tell the truth, come over here. We on some Sucka-Free shit. I'm telling the truth all day and 2 motherfucking times at least on Saturday. Because I don't fuck around on Sundays. I watch football and play Xbox and y'all can kiss my ass.
Oh, my mama said that the Super Bowl, not Super Bowl, my bad.
Hey.
The Chiefs versus the Patriots.
Yeah, Chiefs versus the Patriots tomorrow. Don't fuck with me. Yeah. I'm not talking to none of you niggas tomorrow. Chiefs versus Patriots. Go Chiefs. All right? Don't make me break out the motherfucking Derek Thomas jersey on your motherfucking ass. You hoes is sleep on them Chiefs. All right? CRU said, if you got a quarter in your pocket, you got it where I'm from. They going just a line, Marita. Look, all I'm saying, CRU, you ain't shit. But I feel you though, right? Understands what I'm saying, brothers. We not telling the truth of the matters, and it's causing havoc, not just for you, but for our collective as a whole. These motherfucking gynocratic, autocratic rulers of ours need to know the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is we've been done revolted on their ass. That's the truth of the matter. Why do you think that the marriage rate, the new first-time marriage rate of brothers to women, to black women is 85, 86% at the last time I checked the statistics, and for them, it's 91. Because here's another truth. Shout out to Angry Man. That we ain't talking about. Brothers, we not telling the truth, the real truth about brothers who's dating out. We not telling the truth. We sitting here because, and I get it, we've been acculturated to still want black women, right? The vast majority of black men, myself included, I'm married to a white woman and I still tell my woman that the standard of beauty for me is a black woman. Show you how deep the acculturation go. All right? The vast majority of us are marrying them the first time. But we got options. And we ain't telling the truth about that. Why? Because we still trying to pretend that these niggas who dating Becky's and Ling Lings and Marias, they some fucking race traitors. Yeah, CRU, my wife is white. You just now knowing this shit? I done said it 50,000 times on the Mark Black channel and 50,000 times over here. She's my second wife. My first wife was black. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, my wife is white. And what we ain't telling the truth about is the fact that, oh, it's all good, CRU. The fact is that we're not talking about the fact that there is some actual good things that happen to black men who date non-black women. We're not telling the truth about that. Now, I'm not saying, listen, stop, pause, stop the presses. I am not saying that I advocate for swirling or any of that shit. My wife is white. I started on my journey to do what I do for black people, right? And I'm not going to apologize for that. All right? That's okay, CRU. I'm telling you, if I thought that being with her was deleterious, not just to me, but to my people as well, those of you who listen to me, those of you who vibe on what I'm saying, don't you think I have enough mental wherewithal to be able to make that determination and cut that bitch loose if I need to? So I don't want to hear this shit from nobody, and I'm not going to, that because I'm fucking a white woman, because I'm married to a white woman, I can't think about my people. That's fucked up, and that's bullshit. But at any rate, we got options. We're not telling the truth about that, brothers. We're not telling the truth about that. Angry Man put that shit poignantly last night when he said, I cannot fucking continue to pretend that I see my brothers who's dating a white woman and this nigga walks around with a smile on his face 24/7. He ain't stressed the fuck out. He ain't sitting with his car parked around the motherfucking corner taking a pull off of a bottle of Seagrams before he walk in the house and have to go deal with his bitch. We're not telling the truth about that shit. And I get it. We want to appear and be loyal to the black woman. So we can't really act like these brothers who find happiness with women of different ethnicities is doing a good thing, even if it appears to be a good thing for them. We can't acknowledge that en masse. Not if we've been acculturated through our loyalty, through processes that we don't even learn to question that, wait a minute, you mean I don't have to put up with shit from this bitch? You mean to tell me that Becky Ann is actually going to support me in my new studio? And she said, you want to be an artist? You want to be a singer or whatever? You know what? Let's make that happen. You want to do broadcasts on YouTube? What you need? Do we need to save up? Do we need to save up to get you a new piece of equipment? Do we need to save up to upgrade your computer? Right? Do we need to save up so we can get you a new mic, honey? Because everything I'm doing for my people, half her money is mine. Why ain't we telling the truth about that shit? BGS said black men are loyal to their detriment. To their detriment. I find nothing about that statement that I disagree with. We have been the most loyal. The most loyal. The most loyal. Did you know that black men are getting married at a higher rate than black women? Bet you don't hear that on the root. Or motherfucking Madame Noir and all this other bullshit pap that passes for black media. Black men are the ones out here getting married. With all the motherfucking pitfalls that come with marriage these days, with all the shit that we know can happen to a man, black men are still fucking marrying. But black women ain't. Now, why is that? Why is that? Miss Denny said, my only problem with black men dating out is not so much with the black man. My upset is with the women of other races fetishizes black men. Hey, you know what? That's a fact. Because let's not get it twisted, brothers. Dating Becky Ann, Ling Ling, and Maria is not a motherfucking panacea. Because don't forget, a lot of them bitches have been taught to see us as objects, not as men. So before you get all head up, your little soldier going, and you start going out and start chasing understand this, that just because we may not be having to deal with bullshit from our sisters if we date out, that's not a panacea. You're going to have to face some shit. Let me share with you my story. When I met my wife at work, like most of us do. We meet people where the fuck we are, our works. So I met her at work, right? Alan said the first thing out of a black woman's mouth is what the fuck she won't do. Yeah, I got some stories. Oh man, I could tell y'all some stories that we get this channel shut down about what sisters won't do. Yeah, let's just say that's a lot of motherfuckers smoke and mirrors, and I'll just leave it at that. But I digress. When I first met my wife, I met her at work. And I wasn't interested in her motherfucking ass. I wasn't looking for her. Matter of fact, when I met my wife, I was already in a relationship with a female, right? But I had been with for like three, almost 4 years, right? We had broken up once, but we got back together, you know, cause niggas. Cause you buy into the bullshit. I'm gonna be right this time, I swear to God. Whatever. At any rate, we broke up. We got back together. All right. CRU. Right? That's right. CRU. Are you a nurse, right? Remind me, CRU, you a nurse, right? Shit, I remember when I was young, when I was in the Army, I used to go to bed at night and dream of waking up at Fort Sam Houston. That's the home of the medical corps. All that pussy up in that motherfucker. And I was 18 too. I was a dick on a light switch. Good God. It would have been grim. It would have been grim. Grim going. I'm telling you. But at any rate, shut the fuck up. I'm telling a story, goddammit. Okay, so when I was with this chick and it just wasn't working out. And again, I met my wife. She's my coworker. So, you know, we chopping, but it's on business. You dig? Anyway, I end up breaking up with my old chick. And so now I'm rolling solo. And don't get it twisted. I'm happy. I just got out of like 4 years of a relationship. So I'm not actually on the hunt. You know what I'm saying? Plus, in case you motherfuckers didn't know, from the gray, I'm not in the era of hot blood no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm an older cat. That's not to say I don't like getting mines. Trust me, you got to pay your toll to the troll. But what I'm saying is I got a little bit more control over my shit than I did when I was 18 years old. I didn't have an immediate need to immediately go out and replace the one I just dropped. All right? So, I'm talking to her at work. We cool at work, right? We cool. But I'm not really sweating her like that. All right? And so, you know, just like any other coworker, you know, you talk not just about business after a while, you talk about your life. I look, fuck with my coworkers. We talk about different shit. We talk about our relationships at home and this, that, and the third. You spend 8, 9, 10 hours a day with a motherfucker, you gonna talk to him. All right? So we all talking and shit. And the people there that I had been working with for so long knew I had broken up with my girl and shit, so they was talking about that, you know what I'm saying? Because your business can't stay your business, right? At any rate, so we start chopping, but just kind of like low key, no pressure, no I'm sweating her, no she's sweating me shit. We just cool, we just chilling, right? So one day, it was a Friday, and I was bored, and I was like, I'm going to go home and fuck around on my Xbox. I really don't want to do that tonight. I'd like to find some shit to get into. I'm not talking about no pussy, mind you. I'm just talking about something to do, right? So I hit Angie up. That's my wife's name. And I said, hey, you be going to the casino and shit. Are you going tonight? And she's like, yeah, I'm going to go after work. I'm like, well, I ain't doing shit. Can I ride? Right? Again, I'm not like will you go with me? I'm not asking her the fuck out. I'm just like, can I roll? And she's like, yeah, that'd be cool. You know, come, I'm going to be here. You know, meet me here. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. Right. So we go to the casino. And we kicking it. Like, popping little pennies in the penny slots and shit. And talking crap and drinking sodas. Because neither one of us drink alcohol. Right. So we drinking sodas. We're just having a good ass time. And then it was strange. Because I still wasn't quite looking at her like that. I'm having fun, mind you. But I'm not like saying fun plus Angie equals like marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then we were playing the slot machine. And she was like, I'm almost out of quarters. I got some money. Here, throw a quarter off in there, right? So I give her a few quarters or whatever. She throws them off in the machine and shit. And she won. And brothers, she turned around and she looked at me with that look. Any dude who's married knows what look I'm talking about. It ain't the I'm gonna fuck you look. It's different than that. I mean, it includes that, but it's more than that. And I don't know how else to explain that. And she just looked at me with that look. And I flinched. And she just beamed at me. Like every good thing in the world that could happen to her, I was the cause of it. And we started dating the next day. I never really been looked at like that before her. I mean, I've been with women. I've been in love with women. I've had women who claim they love me, and I believe they did, right? But I ain't never been looked at like that. I still don't know to this day how to describe that look. But trust me, when you get it, you'll know what the fuck I'm talking about. So we dated. I proposed to her ass about 4 months later because I'm old and I know what the fuck I like. And then about less than a year later, we was married. And we've been married now for what? Ms. Deanie, like almost 4 years? Almost 4 years. And that right there, brothers, is how the shit happens. It ain't because you caught snow bunny fever and you hate everything black, including your own ass. No, it happens because you might run into a motherfucker that sees you as more than a dick on a light switch and a motherfucking utility. It happens because you might see a motherfucker that looks at you like you are the best goddamn thing that happened to her, and the only difference between her and the sister that you wish looked at you like that is her skin lighter. So shall we start telling some motherfucking hard ass truths? Because I'm about to tell another motherfucking hard ass truth that niggas ain't fucking ready to talk about. Here's another hard ass truth when it comes to how we romantically or sexually interacted with each other as black folk. Brothers, you have options. She don't. I fucking said it. I'm not the only one, but I'm saying it right here, right now. She don't. She don't. And every motherfucking problem that I can think of that we face as black men in our interaction with black women comes down to the fact that we can split. But she can't. Which is why I've had sisters refuse to even fuck with me. Because I've dated white women. This was before I even got married to my wife. Oh, you don't fuck with white bitches? I can't fuck with a nigga who's fuck with white bitches. This is why any brother that shows anything other than absolute abject depression and willingness to get the fuck out of the relationship if he's with a white person or a Latina or Asian or whatever. This is why they get shaded on. This is why any type of famous brother can come out and be as pro-black as they come, can talk about everything black, 24/7 B1, 24/7 365. And they are riding with him until they find out that he's fucking something that ain't black. Everybody was behind Nate Parker's movie till they found out his wife was a white bitch. Then all of a sudden they started bringing up the rape accusations that he was fucking acquitted on. You, black men, even with the objectivization of you sometimes by these white supremacist females and their acolytes, right? Their female counterparts in other ethnic groups. In spite of all of the so-called obstacles in your way, you got the pick of any woman out here. Every woman wants somebody tall, dark, and handsome. So, brother, if your ass is over 5'7", got some melanin in your skin, and you shine up to at least a high 6, low 7, you can have you a wife. You can have you multiple wives if that's what you want. But you look at every fucking objective measurement. Dating sites and web dating apps. Online posts. Studies. Ain't nobody except black men really trying to marry black women. They'll smash. Every man of every ethnicity will smash any woman of any ethnicity. That's facts. There's two things that human beings are going to do wherever they go, no matter if they speak the language, no matter if they dress, they're going to eat and they're going to fuck. That's two things human beings are going to do no matter where they at. So any woman of any ethnicity can get smashed and any man of any ethnicity can get some pussy. But when we're talking about lifelong commitments, right? Putting your life on the table, marriage, protection, we her only option across the board. White men ain't marrying her. You got what? I think the BGS, those of you who study this, give me the statistics on this. What's the percentage of black women that are married to non-black men? It's a low-ass number. It's like, what, 3%, 4%, something like that. I forget the number, but it's extremely low. All the rest of them that are going to have husbands only have us. And that's where the outrage comes from. That's where the anger and the rancor come from. That's facts. You have options. She really don't. That's a truth ain't none of us talking about. I'm not going to beat this horse to death because there's a whole host of other motherfucking truths we're not talking about. Like the fact that our mothers treat black men like we her chattel slaves. Like we're her property. We don't talk about that. There's a whole host. But in point of fact, brothers, my point is this. In 2019, if you ain't telling the truth about where black men really stand, we are. So you can either get on board or you get steamrolled. Or in the words of the people of the Angry Man Nation, the Great Regime, you know what I'm saying, the Black Order, all of that, you can get right or you can get left. Because, brothers, we need to start telling the motherfucking truth. The healing, the reclamation, look at the fuck up, starts with us being honest about our situation, honest with ourselves, and honest with the motherfuckers around us. Alan said, why? Because you raise your standards on how you be treated? Nope. Shit, that's a problem too. BGS could talk about this all day. We not acculturated as black men to have standards. Having boundaries, standards is not conducive to being a motherfucking healthy black man in America. It's not. If you want to be happy with black women, all you have to do is have no fucking standards. None. You can't ever have a single fucking line in the sand that cannot be crossed. Oh, and make sure you know how to, like, you know, fix shit. Your dick get hard whenever she want it to. And you better like some of the shit that she likes. Like, you better like love and hip hop and motherfucking Empire and shit like that, right? Then you'll be all right. Like, you'll survive, you know, Blackistan. I'm not promising you'll be happy, but you'll be alive. No, because the moment you as a black man have a standard, boy, you ain't seen smoke like you gonna get when you announce, wait a minute, bitch, you can't talk to me like that. Most of the time, sisters, all they have to do to get your ass back in line is be like, who you calling a bitch? And niggas be like, wait, I was tripping. What I meant to say, honey, is, and they go right back to simping. I'm serious. We predictable as a motherfucker. By the way, peace to the LJ fighter. I seen you pop in the chat, but I didn't shout you out. You know I'm failing on my shit. Peace, LJ fighter. Welcome to the broadcast. Yeah, we easy as fuck to get back in line. All we have to do is be on some, bitch, fuck you mean I can't play Xbox? And she be like, you ain't gonna call me no bitch. You right, I shouldn't have called you that. I was just, you know what I'm saying? I've been working hard all day and I just want to play a little bit of Madden before I go to bed, you know. Simping ass nigga. Boy, I'm talking about she jerked the motherfucking leash and your ass be like, Scooby Snacks. She got you on that leash. I know, LJ, I saw you in here, but I'm saying I didn't shout you out. That's me failing, because I'm going to shout out all the people that participate live on Sucka-Free Saturdays and any other broadcast. So thank you for letting me shout you out. By the way, family, I'm not one of those dudes, but don't let the love stop with the brother BGS. He was my first, but I could use a little bit more. I'm unemployed. Throw some spare coins your brother's way if you like Sucka-Free Saturday. And throw some coins your brother's way, because if this nigga's phone ring one more time, I'm going to jail. Shut up, interrupting my goddamn broadcast. What the heck? Get your ass the fuck up out of here. Get!
Fine.
God damn it. I love my Miss Denny, boy, but her and that goddamn phone, woo! At any rate, you know what I'm saying? I could go all day on these but yeah, no, I'm telling you, Alan, I know you say you work too hard for that. You have a standard of living, but a standard of living, Alan, is just a part of it. You got to have standards for everything as a black man. And see, I'm going to tell you, that is going to be one of the hardest chores that we have as brothers, because we are not taught to have any fucking standards. But don't trust my word on this, right? Because Mark Black is still a relative nobody. No greater source than our esteemed brother Phil Scott from The Advice Show did a broadcast with a white bitch where he said, he co-signed her when she said, ladies, if you want a man who doesn't have very high standards, choose a black man. And he was like, yup. Uh-huh. Yup. Fucked me up when I saw that shit. But he was right, though. See, brothers, that's why I told you, just dating out isn't a panacea. Because if you don't have no motherfucking standards, you think Becky won't eventually learn to walk all over your ass? You think Ling Ling won't eventually learn to walk all over your ass? You think Guadalupe won't learn how to walk all over your motherfucking ass? Of course she will. Why? Because you without any boundaries, without any fucking standards, you ain't shit but a doormat. You dumb nigga. How many black men have one goddamn red line that can't nobody, pussy or not, cross where they ain't snapping? Where they ain't saying here and no further. If you look at the vast majority of us, the shit we allow other ethnicities of men would be on some murder show shit for. Because say what you will about our pale fellow citizens, the white man, right? But I'll be goddamn if you go up in his house talking reckless. No. You know, you're not gonna walk in Billy Joe Bob house, bitch, and your mouth is running real reckless. You ain't gonna last too long up in there. If you just get your ass whooped, consider yourself lucky. Chalk that one up to the motherfucking game. Because Billy Joe Bob will murder every motherfucking thing up in there if he don't feel like he getting respected. That's just facts. How many times we read about in the news, some motherfucking body just got found and been buried for 8 months and ain't nothing but bone left. Turn out it's this missing motherfucker's wife who he killed months ago. And we just now discovering the corpse and shit. Them white boys ain't playing. They is not playing. You ain't gonna disrespect him up in his shit. And he paying the bills up in that. Please. You be deader than a doorknob. Shit. Arab men notorious for whooping the shit. What's the hadith? They got a rule that as long as it's no thicker than your thumb, you could take a literal stick and whoop your wife's ass. They're not taking no shorts in their household. None. The Quran says that if she's giving you strife, the first thing you do is you withdraw from the bed. You stop fucking with the bitch for a minute. Say, you need to think. You tell her what's going on and then you withdraw from the bed. She keep acting out. You take a motherfucking stick and you whoop her motherfucking ass. And Arabs follow that shit to the T. The motherfucking Muslim Arabs. Shit, if you Sunni, divorce is easy as saying talaq. I divorce you 3 times. It's over. Fuck what you talking about. Bitch, I'm out. And as long as you not pregnant or within a time frame where you could be pregnant, that divorce is immediately. Hasta la pasta. Brothers, you put up with shit that men from other ethnicities would kill motherfuckers over. So no, having standards, you see what I'm saying? Dating out is not a substitute for having fucking standards. Islamic divorce, it's some wild shit. The facts. There is no substitute in 2019, black men, for developing a set of standards. Now, it just so happens that I have my own set of standards, but if you need some help with developing a standard that you can not only hold yourself to, but you can also hold your women or the woman that you fuck with to, might I make a recommendation to go visit our brother Angry Man's channel and ask him about the Angry Man standard. It's as good a standard as any. I think it will serve you in good motherfucking stead. But nigga, get some standards. Get a goddamn set of boundaries. If you dissolve the wall of a cell. You kill the cell. Without your boundaries, you have no integrity. You are not integral. You cannot be who you are without boundaries. You can't be happy. You can't be sad. How do you have a frame of reference? If you have nothing that denotes who and what you are, how do you have any basis of comparison to know whether or not you're being treated with kindness, with respect, with compassion, with decency, with loyalty? Develop some standards, black man. It's your job. It's your turn. Everybody been telling you what masculinity is to them. You show them motherfuckers what masculinity is to you. Develop your motherfucking standards and you stand on them shits. And anybody you fuck with, if they cross the line of any one of those standards, not the 10th time, not the second time, the first time. Standards are there, niggas, so you don't have to have no debates. You don't have to figure out what's happening. You don't have to have no hemming and hawing. You don't have to have no discussion. The line get crossed, motherfuckers get cut off. Make your life a hell of a lot easier. Trust me. Trust me. CRU said, if you try to touch my laptop, my keyboard, my studio, shit, I feel you. I feel you. See, I'm not fortunate yet. I don't have an actual dedicated studio, which is why you can have Miss Denny here with a goddamn cell phone, right? But it's coming. It's coming soon. I'm going to have a studio, a place of my own where I can do my broadcast, talk to my people, get in the information, have a motherfucking good time, and do it as long as I want to. You know what I'm saying? So I feel you on the studio shit. But somebody fuck with my Mac, or they fuck with my mixer set up over here, I think I'm going to jail. That's all it is to it. Family, talk to me. What the fuck do y'all want to talk about? It's Sucka-Free Saturday, nickels. Let's get it in. What is it you want your man to holler about? Do you have a question for me? Do you have a topic you'd like for us to talk about? This isn't my forum. It's an open forum. The floor is yours. Because I know I got people watching. I got at least 7, 8, 9, something like that. Talk to me. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and call it an evening. You know what I'm saying? Let y'all motherfuckers enjoy your Saturday. I'm trying to think if I got any other topics I want to address. Oh, yeah. I do want to do a public notice to my brother Cerulean. I'm open for that interview discussing the Gray Faulkner initiative anytime you are. So I don't know if I reminded you, but just get at me. My email's on the back end of my channel, brother. I would love to get with you to do that. CRU said, my white girl knitted my RBG hat. I may have another come twist my locks. You stupid. I hear you, though. I hear you. I have my white wife fold my RBG flag. Yeah, I taught her how to fold a flag. She's still not good at that shit. Boy, I sometimes despair if women can learn how to fold a flag, but whatever. I'm an ex-military, so I'm a sticker for that type of shit. Oh, thank you, Alan. Let's talk about that. What about SNAP, food stamps? So, first of all, shout out to Sister Kendra D, a.k.a. DJ Fish Grease. She did a great motherfucking, matter of fact, let me go ahead and find the link to her video. I'll just pop it in the chat. She did a great video, though, discussing the changes that are coming down the pike, right, for food stamp recipients and shit on SNAP. Give me just a second, and I'm going to get that for you, all right? Let's see here. And make sure if you haven't subscribed to her channel that you do so. All right? But we need to talk about some shit. There we go. That's the direct link to her broadcast discussing SNAP, discussing the food stamp program, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, i.e. food stamps. All right. Now, let's face facts, shall we? Right? Remember I said sucker-free. So that means we telling the truth over in this motherfucker. There's a lot of our brothers and sisters who are about to be humbled, who have traditionally had things all their own way with various programs, assistances, and support that are going to find that their lifestyles are about to radically change. Now, I will say this. I have a heart in me, strangely enough. So I'm not going to rejoice in what some of our people are about to face. I don't have that much in me to do that. I know some brothers can, right? Some brothers have been, right? Right now, I'm just imagining Obsidian talking about cuts. I'm not him. I'm Mark Black, right? I can't rejoice in anybody's suffering, regardless of whether or not it's a self-inflicted wound or not. But what I can say is this. There are those of you who are still under the apprehension that you don't need nobody but yourself, right? Isn't it amazing? And I'm gonna have to do a broadcast on a topic like this, but isn't it amazing how many of the American mythos, how many of the myths in the American mythos that black people have bought into? One of those myths is the myth of rugged individualism. And I will just simply elaborate as to what that myth is as follows. I can make my own way. I don't need no motherfucking body's help. I can do it all by myself. Sound familiar? Right? Let us set aside for the moment the obvious elephant in the motherfucking room that all of these people that claimed they could be able to do it themselves have not done it themselves, right? They had assistance every step of the motherfucking way. Let's disregard that. Just throw that to the side for a second, all right? What I have to say at this particular point is now it's time to show and prove. You've told the vast majority of the black collective for years that you can do your life how you want to do it. That you don't have to be accountable to nobody. That you don't have to worry about what the fuck we talking about. Right? You don't have to live in no way like what other people is telling you that might be conducive to growth over a long-term period. Nah, you do what the fuck you want to do. Right? And the government has helped you to that extent be able to live the life of your dreams, it seems. Right? Through programs like Section 8, through Women, Infant, and Children, through SNAP, through TANF. So now that the gravy train, the spigot, is getting... No, LJ, they're not about to cut SNAP off completely. But there is some changes. And for a minute, a good minute, possibly, SNAP will not be available. So essentially, I'm just going to kind of give a TLDV version, right? Like too long, didn't view the video synopsis of what's coming. Because of the government shutdown, they were initially going to issue benefits as of tomorrow, the 20th, right? January 20th, right? For February. At which point, come February, they was not going to issue any benefits at all. All right? Now, that was pretty bad enough because remember, these benefits are monthly, but you're getting your benefits 10 days into the current month, and that has to last you through the 28 days of the month that's coming, right? So like a much longer period of time than you normally would have in order to make your shit stretch and all right? So that by itself was bad enough. But if I understand correctly what else is being done, previously when you had SNAP, right, when you have food stamps, the EBT card, let's say that you were issued, say, $200 in food stamps one month, but you only spent $50 in food stamps, or like $150, right? So we'll make it even 150, and you have $50 in food stamps left over from the previous month. It would roll over to the month ahead. So some of us who have been a little judicious, right, who may have a surplus of food stamps available that we thought would be available to be used, that won't be available either. So the only benefits for SNAP that will be available until such time as they address the government shutdown and get all of that shit squared away is what they're issuing tomorrow. If you had any surplus over that, will not be available to you. And what you're getting tomorrow will have to last you through February, and you may not get anything for March if the government shutdown continues. That's right. Spend it now. Go stockpile. Seriously. Look, family, I'm not heartless. If you are one of those people that are out there on benefits right now, when you get them shits tomorrow, you need to be at the motherfucking grocery store buying real fucking food. You need to be buying your pastas. You need to be buying your rice. You need to be buying dried beans instead of the canned shit. You can get a pound of dried beans, most any bean you like, from anywhere between 69 cents to $1 a bag. And that 1 pound of dried beans will feed your family for multiple fucking days. If you can get some meat, get the cheapest meat you can get. Get a lot of chicken. Get some cheap pork if pork is cheap in your area. Don't even think about beef. Beef's too fucking expensive. You trying to make it, not live high on the motherfucking hog. Okay? I'm not shaming you. I'm not sitting here saying you was dumb as fuck. I'm not calling you a leech. I'm telling you the fucking facts. I've been homeless. I've had to, look, CRU, you say pork, yuck. Guess what? If it's a choice between me eating a pork chop and me not eating, I eat the fucking pork chop. But if you can get chicken, get chicken. Right? Get your motherfucking canned vegetables. You still gonna need them vegetables. So get them. Maybe you can't afford the frozen vegetables like you would normally get or the fresh vegetables. You feel me? Right? But get shit that you can get cheap and stock up on. Get a big ass bag. Look, family, if you can get a big ass bag of flour and a little container of yeast, you can make bread. And if you have bread and some beans, you got a meal. It ain't the greatest meal. It's not gonna be no motherfucking dead lobster shit, all right? You're not living high on the hog. You don't know when the next SNAP benefits is gonna come through. So you gotta make this shit crack. If you got food pantries in your motherfucking neighborhood, get your ass off your shoulders, put your pride in your motherfucking pocket, and have your ass down there saying, thank you, Lord, praise Jesus. Now, can I get some of this motherfucking food? And y'all need to be doing this shit collectively too. Don't be having other motherfuckers in your neighborhood looking for rides to the grocery store and you got a car. Y'all need to all posse up together and hit up the grocery store, and y'all all need to come up in that motherfucker ready to stockpile. You need to walk out that motherfucker and the shelves need to be empty of beans, of rice, of pastas, of low-cost, inexpensive meats, of canned vegetables, and get your seasonings. Family, even if you only got a can of beans and an onion, as long as you got spices and seasonings, you can make that shit taste good to any motherfucking body. If you haven't learned how to cook before now, you best to learn. If your whole idea of eating real good every month is going to the motherfucking grocery store and getting the whole big boxes of goddamn Lucky Charms and the milk from your WIC checks, you better think again. Bitch, you better be buying some motherfucking oatmeal. Like Alan said, cornmeal. Shit, you could take cornmeal, baking powder, an egg, and some motherfucking water and make some goddamn cornbread. That with some beans is a meal. You done had it your own way. And you thought you was living life. Ooh, girl, I'm so glad I ain't got no motherfucker up in here telling me what to do. Now it's time to show us. That's all I got to say on it. That's how you was living previously. Now you got an opportunity to show us just how strong and independent and black you are. Let's see it. Let's see it. My mother, we was poor as fuck. I grew up in the PJs. Trust me, I can take anything. I pride myself on being able to walk into your house and see what's in your cabinets and be able to make a meal enough to feed at least 4 motherfuckers off of what you got in your cabinets. I actually practice that shit even today. I would look at my cabinet and say, okay, I got egg noodles. I got a can of enchilada sauce over here, and I got a pack of ground beef. What can I make with that shit? And I will go in my kitchen and cook my family up a meal, and they be like, God damn, this is good. And ain't nothing cost me more than $3. Go ahead, CRU. Ask your question, my brother. That's all I got to say on the whole snap thing. Family, what's coming down the pike, and I'm not talking about just for black folk, for everybody. It's time for you motherfuckers to get prepared. Go ahead, CRU. Ask your question. And you might be surprised. I might agree with Cerulean, and at which point your ass is going to be like, God damn it. Nigga, don't ask me a question and then tell me if I'm going to agree or disagree with Cerulean, ass. You might be surprised. But ask me. So, I'm assuming Cerulean then said, no, you can't be pro-black. Right? So, I'm just going to answer that question the way I would answer it. And the answer is, and I'm ashamed to finally have to admit it, but no, you cannot be pro-black and date out. But now, you can be black first. Let me explain. Pro-black, at least as far as I understand it, means that everything got to be black about you. Everything. Right? You got to be married to a black woman. You got to be having black kids. Although I would argue that since I'm the dominant morphological phenotype on the planet Earth, any kid I make is black. I digress. Right? But you got to be having black children. You got to have a black wife that you married to. Everything in your life got to be black, 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 blackity, black, black. I'm black, y'all. And I'm black, y'all. And I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all. Right? Okay. So by that standard, no, I don't fit. I can't speak for anybody that adheres, which is why I claim to be reformed or former pro-black. However, I did not lose my motherfucking blackness simply by marrying a white woman. I can put my people first, my tribe first, American descendants of slaves, but black people generally. I can put black first, and I do. I'm unapologetic about that even here, where I got white subscribers. I let them know they are welcome here. I have shit during my broadcast where I just talk to white folks, which is something I never did before. When I was pro-black, I didn't talk to white people. Ask anybody. Go on my channel and see if you see a single video where I've dedicated that entire video to talking to white folks. I don't have no dear white folks videos or none of that shit. But I've opened this forum up because we do need allies. As a pro-black man, I couldn't say that. I couldn't say that the possibility exists that we may have white folks out there that we can align with, not kiss their ass, not center them in our justice claim, but where our interests align, work with them. I couldn't admit that as a pro-black man. I'll get to that, CRU. Great question. But no, I don't think you can be pro-black and date out. Not anymore. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Because the fact is that they're not wrong when they say that how can you be pro-black and your wife isn't black or your mate isn't black? I think that's actually a fairly important thing, right? I would agree with them when they say you can't be with a black woman, but you claim to be pro-black. I'm sorry, that's a sticking point. And it's one that I kicked against the traces for years, trying to say, no, not no more. No, they got a good ass point. So no, I cannot be pro-black. But can I be black first? Fuck yeah, I can. Because they're not synonymous. And as far as my justification goes, I think the fact that I face blackness on a daily goddamn basis and survive it, and have ancestors that faced blackness every day of their lives and survived it, is all the justification I need. I don't need no other justification to put black first. Justice is black first. Righteousness is black first. Compassion is black first. Because if you're not doing it for black people first, then you ain't doing it. It's my opinion. Simple as that. Let's see here. And so CRU says, so how does that work with your wife, her family, her people, and their agenda? Just asking, not to put you on the spot. Just want your view. Great motherfucking questions. Great questions. You're not putting me on the spot, bro. I told you. There ain't no secrets over here. Mark Black, trust me, my government name is on YouTube. The only thing I haven't put up on YouTube is my telephone number and my social security number. And I'm certain as stupid as I do shit, it'll probably end up out there at some point, right? So there ain't no question you can ask me that I feel like is inappropriate or that I don't want to answer, all right? So how does that work with my wife? Well, as simple as this. If she can't be for my people first, she ain't my wife. I'll repeat that for you because that's going to fuck you up. That's going to throw you for a loop. Because you're saying, how can I be black first? That shouldn't actually really be a question. I'm black, ain't I? Of course I can put black first. What should shock you is that there might be some pale people out here that put black first. Not very many. Not nearly the fuck enough. Not nearly enough. But there are some. If my wife can't ride with me putting black first, she ain't my wife. It's as simple as that. I can't ride with somebody who has an issue with me putting black first. But I want to tell you something, CRU, that you might not have thought about. I told you that B1 or black first and pro-black are not synonymous. And they're not. And I can prove it to you. I can prove it to you. If you put black first you can be many things that pro-black people will say you cannot be, right? Pro-black people will talk about a so-called gay or homosexual agenda as if studies don't show that across every mammalian species, about 5 to 10%, depending on the species, exhibits same-sex on same-sex sexual activity. Whether you're talking about marmots, otters, bears, wolves, you know what I'm saying, cats. I digress. They will say that you are part of the bane of black existence. If you're claiming to be pro-black, but you are same gender loving or homosexual or bisexual, nope. You might as well just be basically working to turn yourself from one group of oppressors over to another one because the people won't fucking accept you. So if you LGBTQ and you claim to be pro-black, it's a waste of goddamn time. But I don't believe that you can be LGBTQ and not put black people first. All you have to do to be black first is just simply put your blackness before your sexual identification or sexual gender or whatever the case may be, right? We got brothers and sisters who are Christian, Muslim, atheists like myself, Hebrew Israelites, right? And depending on the version of pro-blackness you fuck with, you can't be any or one of those. But you can be black first and be whatever religion the fuck you want to believe in. Or no religion at all. If you put your blackness before your religious adherence. Yeah, I'm talking about black agenda first. Look, family, I'm going to keep it a buck. We are not a monolith. And the last goddamn thing we need as black people is to be looking for ways to atomize ourselves further. Whatever unifying principles that we ultimately decide to get behind, it will have to be principles that account for the vast, overwhelming majority of black people. And whether you like it or not, black people are fucking non-black people. Black people are fucking same sex or same gender people. Some black people ain't fucking at all. Like, listen, there's so many internal contradictions, right? So pro-black means you got to be pro-black family. So what does that mean for black people who are biologically incapable of fathering or mothering children? Brothers and sisters who were either born sterile or became sterile through accidents. They can't have children. So they can only be married to each other. I guess if you say black love is important, I would argue that, okay, they're being pro-black. But they a couple and they not making children. So there's no pro-black family there. So how do we determine their bona fides? See, with all this gatekeeping around pro-blackness, you never get around to actually figuring out who the fuck is with you and who ain't. Because you're too busy making it exclusive. Now, do I mean that we should just embrace every motherfucking body who wants to be black? Nope. We need some exclusivity. If nothing else, we need exclusivity until we've pressed home our justice claim in this country. Whether it's through the collapse of our country or whether we're able to get some transformational system in place that ensures justice for black people, we do need to make sure that we know who the fuck is black in general. But the gatekeeping and all that other bullshit and the atomization can't fucking fly. It won't fly. Real black people who love black people, who are raised as black people, who know nothing else but blackness, are fucking non-black people, are fucking same-gendered people, don't have a religion or do have a religion you don't like, live in environments that are maybe in a higher class status or a lower class status than you would think is comfortable. Who the fuck are you to gatekeep who the fuck is black and who isn't? Last time I checked, having black ancestors and embracing black culture is what makes you black. Those are the only two things we can really identify around anyway. All the rest of it is secondary shit. So yes, I cannot be pro-black. I have finally made my peace with that. So I do not call myself pro-black anymore. But it would be an absolute falsehood to say that I'm not black first. Because I can be that. I hope that answered your question, brother. Great, great fucking questions. Oh, I'm sorry, there was more to it. What about her family, her people, and their agenda? What about them? Look, her family, I got members of her family, the pale side, right, who love my black ass. And they know what I do. There ain't no secrets up in here. They know my broadcast. They know how I stand on shit. If I catch them expressing any racist or whitest shit, I call them the fuck out immediately. There ain't even no goddamn question about it. Some of her family members hate to see me coming. Because they already know they getting smoke. And she's giving them that smoke. She's being proactive. She's like, look, when I bring my husband through here, there better not be this. There better not be that. Better not be that. Because I'm going to lift that motherfucker off the leash. And he going to make everybody have a bad goddamn day. We got to stop being pussies about being black. But part of that is because we don't want to be black. We too busy trying to nerf whiteness and not trying to buff blackness. We don't see black as a positive. So we don't feel like we want to defend blackness when we in the confines of white folk and other ethnicities. But I actually fucking like being black, thank you very much. I actually see it as a benefit, as a net positive. So when somebody comes along and tries to malign my blackness, they're going to catch the fist. And it doesn't matter if they family, it doesn't matter if they just general pale people or whatever the fuck. I hope that answers that last part of your question. Great goddamn question. Come on, family. Y'all want me to wrap it up or do we have anything else we want to talk about? LJ, you got any topics, brother? Oh, black first. Yeah. So, yeah, CRU answered your question. It's an open forum. So, yeah, no problem, CRU. Anytime, man. Ask me anything. You know what I'm saying? We good. Any other questions for me? Any other topics that y'all want to chop it up about? Sucka-Free Saturday is on you. While you decide to think about that, again, got them spare coins. I needs that. I ain't got no pride. I ain't bashful about it. I can sure use your spare coins. It's all good, CRU. It's about time to wrap this motherfucker up anyway. We've been at this since what? Like 1:45? I think we got us a nice one here. Family, Sucka-Free, this is the first of what I hope to be many Sucka-Free Saturdays. Universal, don't hesitate to get at me on how we can get some voice in here. We can get some calls rolling into this motherfucker because I'm ready to have some real engagements with my peoples of all stripes, okay? So, family, with that, I'm going to say what I always say and finish it the way I always finish it and wish you all love, peace, prosperity, and power. Real power to our people.